Let's define risk management first. So there's enterprise risk management, and that risk management have close to about 92 different risks that you're talking about. We're talking about financial risk, credit risk, liquidity risk, et cetera, about 92 of them. One of them is IT risk. So IT risk is a subset of enterprise risk management. So obviously there's always a battle going on between the risk managers and the value delivery people. Value delivery people, they have their goal in mind, and they're going to keep on coming with creative ways, whether it's derivatives, whether it's some other creative equities that they deal with. However, now more than ever, there's two risks that got us. One was credit risk, over-lending or lending to subprime entities, and not as much as IT risk, but that's the main risk that got most of the banks in trouble. And because of that, credit risk, the liquidity shrank, capital liquidity, and so the lesson we learned was basically hardening from that point of view. And IT, the only thing IT could do as a result of that is to help with the cost-cutting aspect of the risk manager. But did IT actually help? Well, in hardening the rules? Well, only from better tracking point of view. So better reporting, better, so a little bit of investment in technology helps the business track the risks better. Same thing with virtualized technology. So when a buzzword comes around, so there are people who are very excited about it, and then there are people who are naysayers who think of 1,000 reasons why not to explore that. And those are, and most of them are valid reasons. But that's the evolution back and forth which makes the product viable for a company to use. So I'm going to be speaking from my experience how we made it a reality for a company the size of Citigroup. It's one of the largest virtualized environments that we have, and how we came over all the security issues that we did. The other thing is differentiating the reality with this unknown scare. So when you start doing research, okay, what exactly are we afraid of? It's virtual technology. Well, when you're securing physical assets, physical servers, if you will, there's no difference in securing virtual servers. You use the same principle. So when in doubt, the principles, the frameworks that you have defined, they rely on those. Exact thing what you're doing in your physical environment, you're going to do in the virtual environment. It's going to add a bit more complexity, but what's life without challenge, right? So that's basically what you have to focus on. Cloud vendors have to evolve and adhere to certain standards, certain ISO standards. They have to provide the vendor or the cloud customers with certain assurances, certain SLA agreements, certain assurances, So first you start with building the standards, and that's so some company or some entity has to take an initiative on that, or even the cloud vendors like Amazon.com or whatever. So they all publish some sort of standards that our cloud is compliant with XYZ standard. Then you move on to, okay, well, is that compliant? Is that in line with my company's risk appetite? Then you come out with your own, you have as a cloud customer and as a data center operation manager, you have perfect within your right to demand that this is what I have in my current physical environment. This is exactly what I'm looking for. Tell me what's possible, what's not. Hardening of security, is your data going to be stored as encrypted or not? If your data is being stored as encrypted, what is the retrieval time frame? How is that retrieval going to be slow? Is that acceptable to my customers? If it's not acceptable to my customers, if I store the data unencrypted, does that mean that if I sell that to my business, the cost goes from X to Y? Are you willing to live with that risk of data not being stored? Let the business make it. As far as technology investment, we're going to go more deeper into cloud computing, and being that a financial institute, we're going to focus mostly on the private cloud, and already it's the second biggest cloud environment in the world right now, besides U.S. government within the bank. but a fair bit of investment is going to happen in cybersecurity as well. That's the number one concern right now. So if you look in FBI publishes the number 3 risk factors affecting the country. Number 1, of course, is nuclear. Number 2 is weapons of mass destruction and biological weapons. Believe it or not, number 3 is cyber awareness, cybersecurity.